Hey, so my girlfriend and I were just having a really interesting conversation, to say the least, about habits and about autopilot. And the fact, and this was a really interesting conversation because she recognizes that with my neurodiversity, most things are not habits. Even if I've done them for years, they never are ground in as a habit. I consistently every day kind of am checking off a list and being like, okay, I do this, and then I do this, and then I do this. Like I get up, I know to pee, that was easy, but brushing my teeth, it's like, yes, I brush my teeth, and yes, I floss, and then, and the things. And I've had to build on those habits, but it's kind of a consistent daily like checklist. What's really interesting is the way her neurology works is once something becomes a habit, which she's able to build habits fairly quickly, they become autopilot. And so she's no longer attached to them. They just happen. And all of a sudden they're done, which you would think would be great. I personally have always kind of admired it, but she was pointing out, and this was our interesting conversation, how do you then shift a habit? If it's so on autopilot, if your awareness and connection to it is so untethered, like I'm tethered to it because it's part of a checklist and stuff, hers is untethered. And she's like, so how do I change a bad habit? When a habit is no longer serving me, how exactly do I change that habit? I thought it was a really interesting conversation. How does that work? Because we are neurally different. And I know in my world, most of my clients, it is not an autopilot type of thing for us. We are working at every kind of habit on the list, short of needing to pee. I have clients that have to put in when to eat because they get so hyper-focused, they blow right by all eating, and that becomes a whole issue. So really interesting. I'm curious what other people might think about that and what you've experienced. Are you an autopilot kind of person? You get a habit and you just like can build on that and they happen and you don't even realize it? Or are you more of a gotta really think about it every kind of day and decide and make it happen type of person? So thanks, and let's keep these conversations going.